What's up, you guys? Isaac with a chance here, and today we're gonna be discussing the my top five anticipated movies of 2024. But we're gonna do it in two parts. We're gonna do part one for this one, and we'll do part two during this week. So with that down, let's go ahead and get started with part one. Starting off with is number five is Transformers One. Now, a couple of years ago, when this movie was announced that we were getting a Cybertron animated prequel, this got fans, I think this got some fans excited, some fans kind of a little bit curious or confused. And with me, I was one of them. I was kind of confused a little bit, quite a bit. So I'm thinking like, oh, a Cybertron animated prequel. Is this going to be in theaters? To me, yes, it's going to be in theaters. And this is that movie right about here. So anyway, this movie was confirmed that now this is going to be an origin story taking place on Cybertron. Now, also, this film is we are going to get the trailer for this movie, but I will talk about the trailer in just a minute. But what's really exciting about this movie, since this film takes place on Cybertron, we're going to have no humans, just robots, just straight up robots. We have wanted more focus on the robots for a very long time from the live action Transformers franchise, but this movie is going to give us that. More focus on the robots and no humans. And I'm glad this movie is going to give us something different, give us something new that we have wanted for so long. So, speaking of which, let's talk about the trailer. We are going to be getting this trailer eventually soon. I believe we are going to get this trailer in February, in my opinion, because due to the Super Bowl coming next month, we are going to get this trailer maybe that day. I don't know when we're going to get this trailer. We'll just have to wait and see. And speaking of which, the animation. Now, since this movie is going to be an animated, since this is going to be the Transformers movie in animated form, is this going to be 3D CGI animated, or is this movie going to be, is this movie going to be, sorry, I can't speak real quick. So, is this going to come from the animators who bought us Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse? Now, I don't know what the animation style is going to look like. I think this is either going to be 3D CGI animated, or is this going to come from the animators who bought us Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse? Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But we'll just have to wait and see until we get the trailer. But I'm really excited. So this movie, since this is going to be an origin story, this movie involves around young Optimus Prime, known as Hawaiian Pax, young Megatron, known as Megatronus. This movie's going to be focusing on them, on their brotherhood, their friendship, and of how they stopped being friends, and they went in separate ways, and also they became enemies. And this movie is going to give us that. So, and speaking of which, the voice actors for this movie is Chris Hemsworth as young Optimus Prime, known as Hawaiian Pax, Brian Tyree Henry as the voice of Megatron, young Megatron, known as Megatronus. Bumblebee is going to be voiced by Keegan-Michael Key, and Elita 1 is going to be voiced by Scarlett Johansson. I think this is perfect casting. I know there'll be certain questions if Peter Cullen is going to be voicing Optimus Prime himself in this movie. I don't know if there'll be questions from it. I mean, who knows? But I'm a little curious if Peter Cullen is going to be in this movie or not. Who knows if Peter Cullen is going to be in this movie? Hopefully, I know this is a must. I know this is going to be a must. Mostly, from my opinion, this is a must for Peter Cullen to be voicing Optimus, like Optimus Prime. To hear his voice just brings me back to my childhood, and I don't know if this is going to be a hope so, but mostly a must to bringing him in for this movie. So that is all I can say for right now. But for that, I'm really excited for Transformers 1, and I can't wait to see this movie. I can't wait to see this movie in theaters, and I'm really looking forward to the trailer. Now we get to number 4, is Kung Fu Panda 4. Now, if you may not know this, I'm a big fan of Kung Fu Panda. I love the Kung Fu Panda trilogy. I think these are really cool DreamWorks animated movies. So Kung Fu Panda 4, which we know this film is going to take place after the events of Kung Fu Panda 3 and after the events of the last 3 Kung Fu Panda movies that we have seen before. Now it's really good. It's really nice to see Kung Fu Panda back on the big screen. It's really good to see Jack. It's really good to see and hear Jack Black come back to reprise his role as they come back to reprise his role as Poe the panda. Then now after seeing the trailer for this movie, this trailer got me really excited. But when I saw the trailer, I'm like, wait, where's the Furious 5? And that's what the fans want to know. I mean, we might not get the Furious 5 because this movie is still in post-production, maybe. But I don't think we're going to get the Furious 5 right now, maybe until we get the second trailer or the actual movie itself. We'll just have to wait and see when we get them. But for this movie, this film, so for this movie, we have brand new characters coming in. We have the original cast coming back, the original characters coming back. Really, well, some of the original characters for the most part. We have brand new characters, a new villain. We have, so we have the Chameleon, who we saw in the trailer. In the trailer, we have seen the Chameleon, and she's going to be voiced by Viola Davis, who's the main villain of this movie. Then we're going to have one of the characters who's going to be helping Poe out on this mission. And this character is going to be voiced by Awkwafina. I don't remember the character's name, but I'm going to have to look it up. But now I hope this movie does succeed, and I'm really happy I got a chance to see it. I'm glad that I saw the trailer last year. Well, last year, because last month we got the trailer, and I'm really looking forward to see what the second trailer is going to give us. So, like I said, this movie's still in post-production. I'm really excited for the second trailer and the actual movie itself, and I hope this movie does well in theaters, and I'm really hoping that this movie better be as good as the last three movies. Now, my main goal for this year is to rewatch all the Kung Fu Panda, rewatch Kung Fu Panda 1, 2, and 3. So I only watched a little bit of 3, and that's pretty much it. But I am going to rewatch all the last 3 movies leading up to Kung Fu Panda 4. So I think that wraps it up for that. Then we get to number 3, is Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Now, Sonic 3, I'm a little curious about this movie, but I'm really excited for this movie. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is one of my most anticipated movies of this year. Even though we are going to get a Knuckles spin-off series, which is really exciting. But Sonic 3 is going to involve... Now, Sonic 2 is actually give us a teaser and mostly a teaser and a setup for Shadow the Hedgehog, because Shadow is going to be the main... I don't even know if he's going to be the main villain of this movie, which is hard to tell, but I think in my knowledge and in my opinion, he is going to be the main... I think in my knowledge and my opinion, he's going to be the main villain of this film. And, so Shadow. So since Shadow is actually going to be in this movie, I don't know who the voice actors are going to be. I don't know who is going to voice... Well, technically, I don't know who's going to voice Shadow. I think the only 2 picks I have is either Robert Pattinson or Keanu Reeves or whoever. I don't know. But we'll just have to wait and see for the announcements of who is going to voice Shadow in this movie. And now Shadow's origin story, I only saw a little bit of Shadow's origin story. Now, we've seen Shadow's origins. Now, I'm sure most of you Sonic fans out there have seen Shadow's origin story from the cartoons or the games, but I think they're going to translate it into this movie. Do you think they should translate it to this movie? I think it's probably either the best idea, but I hope even if they do the origin story, I hope they get it right, just to respect the fans. If they don't put the origin story in the movie, I don't know how the fans are going to feel about it, but I think it's probably best if they do put the origin story in this movie. We'll just have to wait and see. But I'm really excited for Sonic 3. Not only they should bring in Shadow they'll bring in Shadow in live action form, they should bring in more Sonic the Hedgehog characters that y'all seen in the games, in the cartoons. Bring them into live action. Yeah, bring them all into live action. Bring them all to help out Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails fight against Shadow. Now, I don't know if Jim Carrey's gonna be reprising his role as a Dr. Robotnik. Eggman, we'll just have to wait and see if he does come back or not. That's the only thing I was a little curious about, but let's just wait and see. But I think that's it for Sonic 3. Then we get to number 2. Then we get to number 2 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now, I'm so looking forward to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, but I'm a little worried since Disney is now taking over 20th Century Fox, which is known as 20th Century Studios. I'm a little curious about this movie. I'm a little curious. But due to the trailers, I think the trailers are pretty good, and I think the visual effects are practically amazing. But the rest of the movie, I don't know if this film's going to be as good as the last 3 movies. Now, I only seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn for the Planet of the Apes, but I did not see War, but I will watch War. I try to watch War, but I will watch War for the Planet of the Apes. So, my biggest main goal for this year is to rewatch Rise, Dawn, and War, leading up to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now, since I see this poster right here, I think this is going to be the main... Now, this ape right here, I think he's going to be the main character of this movie. But now, this might sound strange to you. This movie is going to be taking place 300 years after the events of War for the Planet of the Apes, which sounds weird and strange, and a little bit too... Yeah, well, mostly a little bit too repetitive to me. But I'm like, wait... This doesn't, I'm like 300 years after the events of after the events of War for the Planet of the Apes? That doesn't make any sense, but oh well, nothing we can do. But Wes Ball is also directing this movie, and I hope he does this movie justice. So since Matt Reeves directed the last 3 movies, I think Wes Ball needs to write down since Wes Ball's the director of this movie, since Matt Reeves directed the last 3 movies, I think he needs to write down notes of what Matt Reeves did with the last 3 movies and hopefully make this movie as good as the last 3 films that he did before. So let's just wait and see if this movie is going to be good or not. But I'm really excited for this movie. Then we get to number 1 is, last but not least, is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Now, if you may not know this, Mad Max Fury Road is one of my favorite movies of all times, and director George Miller has directed Mad Max Fury Road back in 2015, and now Mad Max Fury Road, now we have a character in this movie, her name is Furiosa. In Mad Max Fury Road, we have Furiosa, who's a character who was played by Charlize Theron, and now Furiosa is getting her origin story taking place way before Fury Road. Way before Fury Road. Now, this movie is going to be a prequel. Now, I know some prequels and spin-offs or spin-off prequels are not that good, but with this film, I hope this prequel is going to be good. So, due to the trailers for this movie, I thought the trailer did not disappoint me, not one single bit. I didn't see not one single flaw for this trailer. Since George Miller did a wonderful job with the trailer, did not give not one single thing away. I think there'll be some things that will be secreted in this movie, will be secreted until the movie comes out in theaters, which is good. Now we have young Furiosa in this movie, a younger version of her. Young Furiosa will be played by Anya Taylor-Joy, and Chris Hemsworth will also be in this movie as well. But I'm really excited for Furiosa and Mad Max Saga is because we're going to have all this wild stuff happening throughout this entire majority of the movie. This is going to be one of the most badass... I think, in my opinion, this movie is going to be one hell of a ride, one of the most badass movies of the Mad Max saga, of the Mad Max trilogy. But since the trailer was actually pretty good, I'm actually really excited to see this movie, to see all this wild stuff happen. This movie's going to be taking place in the desert, in the middle of nowhere. This movie's going to be about survival, action. It's going to give us everything that Mad Max Fury Road has given us. And now with this movie, I think this movie is going to be doing the same thing with what Fury Road has gave us. And I hope this movie does the same thing. But I guess that's pretty much wraps it up for Furiosa. And that's pretty much it for that. So these are the movies I'm really excited for. Now, I think these are the movies I was talking about. I think they'll be good, okay, or meh. It's too soon to tell. Let's see. If you form your own opinion, do you want to see this movie? So what movies with these movies, which one are you looking forward to? I'm definitely looking forward to both of these films in particular, but I'm really excited to see what these movies are going to be giving us by the time they come out in theaters. Now, like I said, I am going to be doing a part 2 during this week. And I think that's pretty much wraps it up for this video, and there's nothing much else to say. So be sure to like, subscribe, press the notification button, follow me on Instagram, comment down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.